Are we good now? I'm not sure if you guys could hear. Could you guys hear anything that I was saying? Stephanie told me that the screen that Hatch was glitching. Okay. But you guys could still hear me when it glitched? Could you guys still hear me when it glitched? This is a word that the devil don't want some of y'all to get. Hey, Miss Allen. Stephanie, could you guys hear me when it glitched? Haps is... I'm not going to say that. Can somebody comment? I hope it's not glitching again. Can you guys comment to let me know? Could you guys hear me on the last broadcast when it glitched? Michelle Mars, can you let me know? And can you tell Visha and Daphne to come back in, Stephanie? No, the first broadcast, I did a part 1. But if I need to repeat myself, you think it went blank on your end. Can you tell Stephanie, can you tell Visha and Daphne that they need to be back here? And also Sabrina. This was a word that the devil didn't want some of y'all to get. Blessings to you, Mrs. Garcia. This is a word that the devil didn't want some of y'all to get. But what I was saying was this. The church doesn't talk enough about like the emotions that we feel while we're trying to believe God for what our eyes don't yet see. But what I was saying on the last broadcast is like, what God is saying on today is like, get to the root of like why you feel discouraged. Get to the root of why you feel weary. Get to the root of it. Because a lot of times what happens when we're feeling negative emotions is we push them under because we're trying to stay in faith. But what God is really saying is like, get to the root of why you feel so disappointed, why you feel so discouraged, why you feel upset, why you're frustrated, why you're depressed, why you're anxious. Because unconsciously, beneath the surface level emotion, right? Beneath that emotion is simply this. We feel that way because we're not receiving something that we feel God should be doing, whether it is finances, whether it's a breakthrough in your health, breakthrough in your marriage. And like when God asked me that, like that was really the root of why I felt so overwhelmed, because it's like, God, I've been fighting this entire year, picking my hope back up, picking my faith back up. And it seems like I'm not getting what I feel I should be getting from you. It feels as if my obedience isn't being honored. It feels like my faith isn't even being acknowledged. Right? But the Lord told me, He said, if my children don't deal, right, with the emotion, if they don't get to the root, that emotion that they feel, it will fester to a place that affects their ability to have faith. It will affect their ability to believe me for what their eyes don't yet see. Am I making sense? Get to the root. And honestly, what happened today was just a buildup. It was a buildup of this entire year of me feeling like, God, I keep going through things. What about me though, Lord? What about my faith? What about my obedience that I've showcased? Why aren't you coming through? Why aren't you stopping the storm? Why aren't you stopping it? The regret that I felt just for my obedience of from just simply being a good steward. Honestly, was me simply feeling like, God, it feels like I gotta fend for myself. Y'all can act like some of y'all have never felt like your obedience keep leading you into storms, like your faith keeps leading you into setbacks. And so what happens is our defense mechanisms set in. And so when we go through a storm, when we've already been through so many, but we've still just said yes to God and we have to go through another, our defense mechanism says fend for self, regret what you did, and fend for self. And I'm going to be real, I know I'm not the only person that feels that way, that feels like God ain't seeing you, like he's not seeing or hearing your prayers. And it's honestly not even me or even you being ungrateful. I pray that I'm making sense. Like today was my threshold. I was like, I'm tapped, God. I have nothing left to give. Because how else are you supposed to feel when you know that you've given God your all, but yet you still struggle? Yet your needs still go unmet? Yet the situation still hasn't turned? Yet the miracle still hasn't come? But it's like the church teaches us to chase perfection, to have the perfect emotions, the perfect mindset, the perfect approach. But y'all do know that God created emotions for a reason, right? Y'all do understand that God created emotions for a reason, right? Our emotions are not meant for us to like pull a rug over them. Whether you feel abandoned, whether you feel overlooked, whether you feel like your prayers are falling on deaf ears, whether you feel depressed, whether you feel weary, whether you feel down and out, being able to understand why you feel the way that you feel, it frees you. And what God is saying on today is get to the root of why you're feeling the way that you feel so that those negative emotions can pass. He says, I need to say that again. Can I get some of y'all to type that in? Get to the root of the emotion so that the emotion can pass. He says, I need to say that again for the people that did not hear it. Get to the root of why you feel overwhelmed so that that feeling of being overwhelmed can pass. Get to the root of why you feel weary so that that feeling of weariness can pass. Get to the root of why you feel depressed, why you feel, come on, somebody. Because having the emotion pass not only brings us closer to God, but it frees us from that. It frees us from the weight. And I don't care what anybody says. Negative emotions are weights. They can become weights. Depression is a weight. Anxiety is a weight. WEIGHT. Frustration is a weight. Weariness is a weight. Why do I say that? Because a lot of times when we allow those emotions to sit, what happens? You start to feel heavy. You start to feel an immense amount of pressure that makes you feel like you're about to break. But the Lord says he's coming to set the captives free. His word says that whom the Son sets free is free indeed. And as we get ready, because December is tomorrow, as we get ready to enter into the month of December, God is saying, be free. Be free. His yoke is not heavy, it's light. Be free. Can I just get y'all to tell your neighbor, be free? Be free from feeling overwhelmed. Be free from feeling bitter. Be free from feeling unseen, unheard, overlooked. Be free from depression. Be free from that be free from that heaviness. Be free. And the only way for us to be free is to get to the root of why we feel how we feel. Immediately as God told me that, as he asked me the question, why do he told me get to the root, but I knew he was asking, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel like you're at your breaking point? Why do you feel overlooked? Why do you feel rejected? Why do you feel these ways? As I began to tell him, God, I feel like my faith isn't being honored. I feel like it hasn't been honored this year. I feel like what I've received has not represented the faith that I've shown. It seems selfish for me to say, but it wasn't me being ungrateful. It was just me saying, God, what your word says about the reward that comes from faith, about the reward that comes from obedience, I don't feel I have seen it. I don't feel that I've been on the receiving end of something that matches my faith, that matches my loyalty, that matches the fact that I have not given up when I've had every right to give up this year. It was me being truthful with God. And it's immediately when I said that, peace came. The words came. I had no words all day today. And I believe what God is simply saying, if you really want to be free, get to the root. If you really don't want to feel the pressure no more, the pressure from struggles financially, get to the root. If you really don't want to feel the pressure and the weight concerning things that you're believing me for, get to the root. Because if you allow the emotion to fester, it will affect what you're able to receive. It will affect your faith. It'll affect your ability to believe me for what you have not yet seen. Get to the root. Why do you feel disappointed? Why do you feel hurt? Why do you feel set back? Why do you feel like God ain't listening? Why do you feel like God hasn't heard you? Why do you feel like you got to protect yourself? Why do you feel like you got to provide for yourself? Why do you feel stretched thin? This is for somebody. Why do you feel like you can't take no more? Why do you feel like giving up? Why? Can I just get y'all to ask your neighbor, why do you feel the way that you feel? And I think honestly, the culture of this world has taught us not to ask ourselves those questions. And the society and the culture of this world has taught us not to ask ourselves that deep of a question because people don't ask us that deep of a question. The truth of the matter is nobody in the world really cares why you feel the way that you feel because they're also focused on themselves and on not feeling whatever weight that they feel. But God says, be free today. Be free today. He says, I need to say that again. Be free today. And the way that you choose freedom is asking yourself and actually keeping it real and raw with yourself and God about why you feel the way that you feel. Be free today. Be free today. Be free today. And that's the broadcast. Be free. Be free. Be free. I'm going to say it again. Be free. Be free. Be free. Like, I mean that whole, be free. So listen, some of y'all need to sow seed into this word. I don't have a seed amount. Some of y'all may feel led to sow $1. Some of you guys may feel led to sow 100. Some of you guys may feel led to sow 70. Whatever you feel led to sow, you sow. But what I do have is a seed title. Be free. And I challenge you, whatever it is that you need freedom from, type that emotion in. If you've been feeling frustrated, label your seed, be free from frustration. Whether you've been depressed, be free from whatever emotion you have been feeling. That's it. That's it. Michelle Mars, I don't know why I hear that you need to sow seed into this word. I'm not sure if you're still here. I'm not sure if you're still here, but I hear that you need to sow seed into this word. And God says to tell you, sow your best seed. Whether that looks like whatever seed it is has a 7 in it. Whether it's $7, whether it's 70, whether it's 57. I don't know why I hear those numbers. Be free. Stephanie and you and Ben need to sow a joint seed into this word and release what you need to be free, what you're choosing freedom from. Be free. The only way you can do that is by just getting to the root. Mrs. Garcia, you need to sow seed into this word. Not sure if you're still here, but you also need to sow seed into that word and label it, be free. Because I don't know about y'all, I'm ready to be free. I hadn't realized how weighed down my emotions had made me feel until just now. I had not. Do I have anyone that can sow for Andrea? Do I have anyone that can sow for Andrea? Blessings to you, Mrs. V. If you can sow for Andrea, just give me a 1 on the screen. You sow whatever God leads you to sow for her. Be free. Be free. Be free. Do I have anybody that can sow for her? Does not matter what you sow. You sow whatever God tells you to sow. But if you can sow for her, can I just get you to put a 1 on the screen? Be free. Be free. And that's the broadcast. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. To those that didn't catch part 1 before Haps glitched, go back and catch it. And catch this one from the beginning. To those that are on the replay, if you know you need to sow into this word, sow into it. That's it, y'all. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you.